Hey everyone, today we're ranking every killer least to most fun in 2v8. 2v8 is a little different from DbD's regular 1v4, as the killers have adjusted and typically buffed powers in order to keep up with the increase in survivor number. This makes many of them quite a bit more interesting and unique to play around with. So let's rank them all least to most fun, considering the changes made to them, but also how well they fit into 2v8 as a mode, and their potential to work with other killers. Number 13, the Nurse. Nurse has a few changes for 2v8, with her blinks being altered very slightly. Her blinks have an extended lunge range, she has less post-blink fatigue, and a higher speed with her blink window, along with a bunch of other small tweaks. She's not too different, just a little faster and snappier than her 1v4 self. Despite this too, I think Nurse is actually less powerful than her 1v4 counterpart, as she just gets a bit overwhelmed in 2v8. She's mainly strong because she can intensely pressure and down a single person very quickly, but this gets actually kind of tricky when there's 7 other players. So this paired with her not being all too different to the main mode, I'd say she's not that interesting in 2v8. I wish she'd get something to make her stand out a bit more, even if it's something as simple as a third blink. I do think despite all this, she is actually a decent support or collaborative character though, with her able to blinking quickly to cause some damage and help a teammate out. This is sort of a highlight though, I think, with her otherwise not feeling too satisfying, I'd say. Number 12, Spirit. Spirit feels not too dissimilar from her regular mode self as well, with her changes being a longer phase by 3 seconds, a faster power recharge, and a faster phase walk, all very slight adjustments though. The main one that feels good is the longer phase duration, as it lets you get around the larger maps a bit easier, and you don't have to feel too punished by it because of the faster recharge. I'd say she works sort of fine in 2v8. She does lack some fun elements, I think, with her not merging well with the chaos of the mode I find. Her tracking is a bit harder due to the high quantity of survivors and their scratch marks, and mind games in general feel a lot more random, and it makes her even more basic than she already is, I think. I'm sort of a Spirit hater though from the get-go, so hey, take my words with a grain of salt. I think she'd be a bit more fun if her power recharged even faster, debatably, and potentially if she even got some greater built-in tracking, like being able to see pools of blood show up in bright red. Something to sort of distinguish certain survivors within the chaos. She can be decently fun for some collaborative moments where you appear out of nowhere to help your teammate or surprise someone. Still some fun moments, but pretty down here for me. Number 11, Trapper. Trapper has a number of changes for 2v8 due to him being one of the weakest characters in the game. Trapper gets an increased 4 traps to start the trial, and a nice quality of life thing for 2v8 is he can't step in his own traps. They just snap shut if he does, but they don't clamp him. Traps are set faster, give a larger haste bonus, and take longer to get out of in 2v8 too. I'm not quite sure if all this is enough though still. He's certainly more fun due to these buffs than his 1v4 self though. Trapper has a good amount of interaction potential, with his traps being able to cut off areas, and also often be more effective with multiple killers being able to direct survivors toward them, and even grab them out of them. He does just feel very slow still though despite all this, and there's plenty of times when I'll trap someone and I just simply can't get there in time. I think Trapper would be helped greatly if he started off with all his traps for one, but also if he had an add-on like Iridescent Stone, which would reset traps as the match goes, built into his kit, to make up for just how huge the maps are and the high quantity of survivors able to locate and disarm them. I think he needs a bit more of a helping hand, again especially because the maps are so big. Number 10, Deathslinger. Deathslinger gets pretty minor changes for 2v8, and could use something more substantial as well I think. He gets a faster reload time and faster reeling speed, but he could really use some stronger base buffs than just this. This isn't quite enough I'd say. He struggles a bit in general for 2v8, and I think it's due to him being so one-on-one chase oriented. He sort of struggles with the chaos of it all, and having so many oncoming targets. He is great for coordinated team moments, like spearing a survivor so the other killer can catch them. It's especially effective with insta-down characters like Billy or Oni. He does admittedly feel quite weak aside this in the mode though, with him still taking a decent while to reel in, having just one shot as well, and only a slightly adjusted reload speed. I honestly think they could get away with him having 2 shots available before reloading for 2v8, as otherwise he does just feel a bit too slow for this mode. He needs that same snappiness a lot of the other characters have, or get from their 2v8 buffs. He feels a bit behind. Otherwise, he is fun too, and is definitely a good support character primarily. Number 9, Nemesis. Nemesis feels like a missed opportunity a bit, as his kit is largely unchanged from his 1v4 version, with him having little adjustments for the mode, and subsequently feeling a bit underwhelming and weak, I'd say. Zombies have a bit of a longer detection range, survivors get hindered for a bit longer when infected, and zombies respawn faster, and you get more infection progress by killing them too, if you want to. Nothing really tentacle related. It's all zombie focused, and the buffs aren't that great, I'd say. The maps are honestly way too big most of the time for the zombies to be overly helpful. There's obvious changes that would be cool, like having more zombies, but this is more of a technical limitation apparently. I think his power could have still been adapted more though, with him having a longer tentacle, faster whips, and maybe something more dynamic going on with his infection, or how it interacts with other killers, as currently he's just quite dull, I think, as much as I love him. He also suffers when paired with debatably his coolest pairing, Wesker, with them getting a shared vaccine for both their T-Virus and Ouroboros. This is quite a nerf to Nemi, as there's more spray cans available with multiple charges. It can be a bit frustrating. Even with lots of disappointments though, Nemi is still a lot of fun. I still love his base power, and the zombies are a nice chaos element to the mode, especially with them slightly buffed up. Even if they rarely do much, it is still a lot of fun. So I think for that, he's still well worth putting up a decent ways up here. Number 8, the Ghostface. Ghostface I think suffers a bit in this mode because he isn't buffed enough. He actually feels very weak still, where I think they could have gone the route of really buffing him and giving him a lot to work with. He gets a slightly faster power charge time, slightly faster stalking, slightly faster movement speed, but a whopping 30 seconds less when he marks someone. This is the worst part, I'd say. This actually dents a good amount into his power. He can't be that stealthy because there's 8 survivors, and even when you do expose someone, it only lasts 30 seconds, which does feel fairly trivial a lot of the time, especially against a team which is half aware and will body block. I do like how it encourages you to play Ghosty aggressively, as I enjoy playing him this way, and you can get some fun collaborative moments due to your stealth and ability to mark survivors. Overall, I really like him. You do have the one benefit as Ghosty of being able to tame survivors far easier too, so he's a great character in that sense, lots of fun moments. Number 7. Wraith. Wraith's main changes in 2v8 are slight alterations to his speeds. He can cloak and uncloak a little faster, as well as move faster, break faster, and vault faster all when cloaked. It's kind of like playing Wraith with all of his add-ons equipped, which is actually quite cool. He seems to be a bit of a favourite in 2v8 too, and I totally get why. Playing a juiced up Wraith who has all add-ons equipped is really fun. Wraith's hit and run playstyle also fits the mode very well, with there being plenty to hit with the increased survivor number. He can also make for some fun collaborative moments. For example, I was playing Wraith with this spirit, and I had the idea of body blocking for her to let her get downs. It was quite fun seeing the survivors react to a sudden body block as they were trying to keep up with the spirit's tracking. You could do this with an insta-down character too, for example. You could like body block a window and then an Oni dashes in and slams. Overall, I think he's a lot of fun, although simple. He feels familiar but notably buffed for the mode, which makes him overall very fun, I think. Number 6, Blight. Blight feels like a great fit for 2v8 due to his fast speed and ability to quickly bounce and redirect himself. His power adaptations enable this greatly too. He gets an increased rush speed, a longer slam duration so he can react to the chaos around him, and a greater turn sensitivity. These all seem like really conscious changes for how Blight will play and act in a 2v8 situation, where speed is key, but also the ability to hesitate and act on various things going on. Blight works very well, and similar to some of the others, he's a great tag teamer, with him able to bounce precisely to snipe various shots or get a quick hit. He's also just generally good at countering the abilities of the survivors, like the sprint burst, or just a large number all at once. He's actually pretty good at crowd control. Overall, speedy, bouncy, chaotic boy is good for 2v8. Number 5, Legion. Legion have some slight adjustments with an increase to their frenzy duration, but also the ability to hit 6 survivors in a row, but also needing 6 to completely down someone. This is a bit of a downgrade, as originally in their old 2v8 version, they were able to hit all 8 survivors and get them all mending. This made them incredibly effective. Now they're definitely weaker, and it is a little harder to spread the same pressure, but hey, 6 is still decent, and I think there was talk of lowering it to 4, so we still have it pretty good this way. Legion are quite fun to play as too, even if their role is more of a support one. Injuring survivors repeatedly and zooming around the map, it is peak chaos, darting from one survivor to the next. Getting back-to-back hits as you chain them all together and set up your partner for quick insta-downs. They work especially well with characters like Oni, but also Huntress, Wraith, or just about anyone who is also very quick and able to pick up from where you just left off. They're not quite as fun to play against, admittedly, maybe the most miserable, but hey, we're looking at playing as today, so they're pretty high up there for me. I do feel a little guilty though whenever I play them. Number 4. Billy. Billy has slightly altered stats in 2v8, with him getting some small chainsaw bonuses. He can turn 30% faster whilst dashing, and has a decreased chainsaw cooldown if he hits objects. It's not the biggest change admittedly, but Billy is one of those characters that does already thrive off of chaos and back-to-back downs due to his speed and insta-down capability. The chaos of 2v8 works really well for him therefore, as he darts about and flies into rooms or areas for a quick down. He's fast-paced and deadly, which fits the mode almost perfectly. He's also got some decent synergy with other characters. He doesn't share the back-to-back hit potential as much, as he's an insta-down character, but he can still have some fun moments where you collaborate on a kill, or a killer draws someone into an area, and then you dash in and down them. It works well like that, I think. Number 3. Huntress. Huntress feels like she fits very well into the chaos of 2v8, with her main difference being that she has 10 hatchets instead of 7. This makes her incredibly fun, honestly, with what feels like an almost endless reserve of hatchets to pelt at survivors. Her other changes consist of a base kit soldier's putty type of effect, where she moves faster when out of hatchets, but I find this rarely happens. And she also has a faster reload and wind-up time. They all feel great. She's also just a great teammate and collaborator too, with her able to help pretty much any other killer out by sniping from a long distance or hitting from a more difficult angle or range. There's something really satisfying about repeatedly rattling off hatchets. Huntress is a great fit for the mode and works really well with basically any other killer. Number 2. Oni. Oni is a bit of a powerhouse in 2v8, with him able to really engage with the chaos due to the endless blood available between all 8 survivors. He has a perfect power to make the most of the survivors all running around. The alterations he gets for 2v8 are quite nice too, with him getting increased dash movement speed, a longer range for absorbing blood, and a better turn rate and startup time with his dashes. He feels really streamlined and just better in his 2v8 form. Oni is already the king of snowballing, and so for a mode when there's 8 survivors to take down, he really excels at being able to quickly dash at them and down them one by one. He's one of the more aggressive character picks I'd say for the mode too, which is generally quite a fun role to play, with him merging very well with more support-focused characters like Legion. Charging around as Oni is incredibly fun, simply put. Number 1 though is Wesker. Wesker has a huge change to his kit, with him being able to bound a 3rd time, which may not sound like a big deal, but it does make quite a huge difference. He also vaults faster when bounding, charges his bounds faster, and has a faster power cooldown. He is honestly really buffed up for 2v8, and these changes make him feel even more snappy and allow him to get around just about any loop. 3 bounds is so nice and works very well for 2v8 where there's so much going on, but also due to the maps being quite a bit bigger. Wesker also has the amazing ability to throw people, which is great for 2v8. Throwing survivors into your killer friend, or simply into each other, is just always amazing, honestly. Wesker and the changes they made to him just feel perfect for 2v8 and its whole vibe. Peak chaos, peak gameplay for a mode like this. Alright, well, that's gonna do it. I do hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts as always down below. Thanks, and goodbye.